You just stare at that camera. You don't stare.
Good afternoon and welcome to CraftStash Live. I'm Claire. Some of you might remember me from a few months ago when I used to join Jeanette. She's gone home. She's gone back over to Washington somewhere, I think. She's on holiday. So you stuck with me, unfortunately, this week, but I am very glad to introduce you to Glynis.
Hi.
Glynis is, well, I always say I want to be Glynis when I grow up. I've always said that to you, haven't I?
Yes.
I want to kind of be like you when I grow up. There isn't anything about card making that I don't think Glynis doesn't know. So what?
Things.
there isn't. There's nothing. So what we're going to do today is we are doing an Agony ant session, and Auntie Glynis is going to hopefully help us, and I'll help a bit if I can as well, with any hints and tips. If you want to ask questions, if you've got anything that you've been trying to do and it's niggling you and you can't just get it right, drop us a comment. If we can't get around to your comment straight away, then we're going to be doing either a little blog post or a cheeky video later on. So if you don't hear your question read out and you don't get an answer in the next 45 minutes or so, don't worry, we haven't forgotten you, we haven't ignored you, and it's not that we don't know the answer, it's just there's hopefully a lot of people watching and far too many questions to answer all in one go. Yeah. Hopefully. So, Glynis used to work with us, didn't you, babe?
Yes, I did.
But Glynis has been making cards. How long have you been making them now?
About 18 years.
Okay.
I used to own my own craft shop, and about 18 months ago I retired. But I still make cards for a magazine, and I do workshops, so that keeps me busy.
Keeps you very busy, doesn't it?
Yes, very busy.
I reckon you're busier now you've retired.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
You're shattered, aren't you? So, like I say, Glynis is, as far as I'm concerned, the oracle. If I ever have a question, I go to Glynis. Even though I don't see her very often anymore, I'm still on Facebook.
Yes,
And
I'm always at the end of Facebook.
Always at the end of Facebook. Always, once a month we have a little crafty session and we make cards.
Yes.
And I learn every time I go to a Glynis card making session, I learn something new. So hopefully you guys can learn something new, maybe more than one thing today.
You never know, we might learn something.
Well, exactly. And if
Yeah.
you've got any hints and tips as well, share them with the group. Share them with the group. Talking about sharing, don't forget, if you are a member of any crafty groups or any pages or anything like that, then feel free to share this video and tag anybody that you think might be interested into this video. The more people that watch us, the more chance you've got us of being around a lot longer. So please do tag and share away. The more the merrier. And as I used to say, sharing is caring. I can't even get that right. Until it's Friday. It's been a really long week. Really long week. So let's see who we've got on with us today. Let me just crank up the video. You have to wait for my delightfully fast phone. I'm not exactly... Come on, where is it? There we are. Look, we're there. Look, me and you.
Wonderful.
So we've got 50 odd people watching us already.
Oh, not 50 odd questions.
Not 50 odd questions. We've got, Tom, I've not seen Tom for a fair while. Tom McCormack is one of our regular watchers. Where are your workshops, Glynis?
They are in Stockport. If you can name where I do them. There is a blind and deaf centre on Showeath in Stockport called Walthuse House, and I do them once a month there. If you want any more information, just Facebook me.
So have you got a Facebook page?
I've got, yes, it's CJ's Crafty Workshops.
Okay, yeah. So if you search for CJ Crafty Workshops, you'll find our Glyn.
So
yeah, but they can join, request to join,
yes,
can't they?
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
And there aren't any kind of there can't be any requirements to join because I'm in it. She puts up with me, she'll put up with anyone.
The reason why it was just closed, I set it up just so I could tell my regular ladies that come to my workshops what they need to bring with them every week. It was easier to do it that way than just put it on my normal Facebook
works really well.
It does work, yeah.
It does work really, really well.
Yeah.
Really well. We've got Tracy, morning Tracy, well, that's morning, afternoon Tracy. We've got Jill. Tom, yeah, every day is a school day, especially if you're me. Jenny's watching, our Jenny in the office. Linda, Lynn, Joe Rice. You know Joe, don't you?
I know Joe.
Yeah, so Joe's watching us.
Hi, Joe.
There's we've got quite a few people. So yeah, send your questions in. Comment your questions. I think, have we got YouTube as well that people can... Yeah, I'm being nodded at from behind the camera. I think we've got another one that doesn't like talking. Remember Kath when I used to do it? Kath didn't like talking either. So Shauna's like that. Yeah, you don't like talking, honey?
No.
No. So we've got a few bits and bobs that we're going to show you, different techniques. Some of the things that I've learned off Glynis, some of my favourite ever materials. Do not get that stuff everywhere. If I'm eating that in my dinner later on, you're going to be in trouble, lady.
Glitter girl.
This woman should have shares in glitter.
Oh yes.
I've never known anybody use as much glitter as this one.
Could you imagine how boring life is without glitter?
That sounds like bliss.
Oh, I love it.
You just put glitter on card. If you knew I was coming to your workshops, you'd put more glitter on them, didn't you?
It's got to have glitter.
So we've got, at the moment, we have got 10% off Sweet Poppy stencils using code SWEET10. Can I have a close up, please, honey? I've got a couple here to show you. I love this one. This is beautiful. It's very mandala-ish, and I'm into my mandalas, me. And then we've got a bit of like an apple blossom branch. And we've got another one that young Glynis has got prepared on a piece of card. So she's going to show us how to do a bit of stenciling. But yes, so Sweet Poppy are new to the website. So if you use code SWEET10, then you can get yourself 10% off. And these are gorgeous. I love these because they are stainless steel. They're metal. So they're really good quality and they clean up really well.
Yeah,
and then a nice crisp edge.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Yes, Claire.
Yes, Claire.
Yes, Claire.
Are we ready?
Yeah, go on.
So we'll just use these.
I'm just going to move you just in a little bit, just
this
so we can
copy
see.
Paste.
I'm going to turn light on. I'm going to knock everything over.
Knock all my cards over, dear.
Yes.
There
we go. I'm not sure that's going to work with that light like that, but we'll give it a go. I'll let Shauna nod or no, we'll turn it off because of the reflection.
So what I do, I take a lovely big dollop.
A lovely big dollop.
A dollop.
But before you've done that, you've...
Sorry, yes, I have taped it down on the four sides with stencil tape.
Okay, so it's just like masking tape, isn't it? But
Yes,
it's easy lift,
Yes.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
And just start at the top and spread a bit about. This is the messy bit, you do realise that, don't you?
Well, it's fine. I like a bit of messy crafts.
And I've got this, I think this is...
That's the Sweet Poppy one.
Yes, it is. Or you could always use a metal ruler.
Yeah. Or you can still use your palette knife, can't you?
You can, but sometimes if you go back on it sometimes, it tends to go underneath. So you're best putting it at the top.
So that's top tip number one then.
Well, yeah, and then just dragging it down.
That is so therapeutic. I could sit and watch that for hours. I absolutely love it.
And then, see, that's done now. We didn't get a bowl of water.
Oh. No, but we've got baby wipes, so it'll be fine. So again, it doesn't matter how liberal you are, because you're going to scrape it off and put it back in your tub anyway, aren't you?
So, and then we peel it off.
Gentle.
Gentle.
And again, I find that really therapeutic, that it's nice and all clean around the edges. I'm so sad. Can't help myself. I'll have that one as well.
And then...
Oh, the big reveal. You just gently peel it.
Oh!
That's beautiful. That is gorgeous. So I'm going to have a close-up on this while... Feel free to find some baby wipes.
Right, before it dries, pop your glitter on it.
Oh, yes, okay. So you can see there, if you wanted, you could leave it like that. But what we're going to do now with Glynis is, I'll do the wiper. I'll clean up. You do the technical stuff.
So then...
Just make sure
Well,
we're
that's
in the
beautiful.
camera.
And just sprinkle it wherever you wish.
So I suppose you could do multicolours. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Try not to get your glitters mixed up.
It's nothing worse than getting your glitters mixed up. Another good thing about these stencils is because they are metal, if it is that, if I wasn't sat here be doing this and cleaning it up for Glynis, this stencil would be sat to one side and the paste, the medium would be drying on it, but because it's metal and it's stainless so it won't rust, you can wash it in soapy water, I would have thought, underneath the tap. That's gorgeous.
And there we go.
If you just, oh, tell you what, which way are we going? We're going top down? There we go. Turn it round for you. So we've got, just by some normal, it's white, isn't it, that? Just normal
Clear,
white, iridescent.
The mistake I did make then though, really, if you're ever using mixed glitters, different colours, you should always use your white one first. Your lightest. If you use your darkest, hold on.
Yeah, you use your,
lightest first.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
No,
you use your darkest first, and then it'll show you
yes.
lighter up, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I look like I've been painting. I've got all this all over me. It's like emulsion. That is beautiful. It doesn't do it justice, really. Can we do it on a close-up? Does it do it? Oh, that's better. Look at that sparkle, Glenn.
That is fabulous.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? So that is a mixture of your sweet poppy paste and then just any glitter that you've got just sprinkled over the top of it. I'm going to clean that later.
What I have done, I was using the Cosmic Shimmer Lunar paste, which is absolutely fantastic. It comes in about, I didn't really count them, might be about 12 different colours. I absolutely fell in love with this. I want every colour going. You don't need to put glitter on this one. So I did that.
Do you want me to close up it for you?
Please.
Let me just dry my hands on my jeans because I don't want to get it all mucky.
This one is Moonlight Pearl. It's absolutely gorgeous.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid off that tub and show it on a close-up because, again, you don't get the glitter on this camera. If I can open this up and can you see the glitter that's in that? It shows up better in there than it does. It really does ping on this purple.
Yeah.
But the camera's just not picking it up, unfortunately. I'm not sure the light is.
I don't think it'll pick it up.
I'm not sure it'll pick because that's. Oh, it does. Look at that.
Oh, look.
Oh, that's nice. And then what you could use is, if you wanted to, I suppose you could use your distress inks over the top of that.
Not tried.
If you'd only got white card and you've not got coloured card, you could use your distress inks over that, and it wouldn't take where. I'm guessing. I've never tried it, but it's always something you can give a go.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Let's see if anybody's got any questions for us. Right, so we've got Tracy who says that she's got a couple of the Sweet Poppy stencils and that they're fab. They are. I absolutely love them. They're gorgeous. So Carol says, do you do any printing? Do you print anything on cardstock?
Yes, I do.
You do, right? Okay. So Carol was wondering. She says her wee home printer can't print on anything thicker than 160 GSM. So she has to print on paper and then mount it on card, but the paper invariably warps with the glue adhesive, which ruins it. Are there any glues on the market that won't warp the paper?
If I was doing that, this happened to me, and I ended up buying another printer, so it would take over 300 GSM. You can always buy. it's not too cheap. It's the A4 double-sided sticky sheets.
Oh, is that printable?
No, what you could do is...
Oh, I'm with you. Ignore me. Yeah.
Attach a paper to the card with the A4.
Yeah. So you could mount it on the double-sided adhesive, so it wouldn't warp then because it's not drying.
Yeah.
I like that one. Told you she was good.
I wouldn't use wet glue.
You don't tend to use wet glue very often, do you?
The only one I do use is the Collol, the adhesive.
The all-purpose.
Yes, because it tends to stay on top of your card. PVA dry, it soaks in and bubbles, which you don't want.
No, and I like Collal because it gives you that wiggle room. It doesn't dry straight away, so you can. It gives you time to position you. If you're matting and layering, you can get it in a nice position.
But for Carol, I would use the A4 double-sided sticky sheet.
That's a really good idea.
Yes.
Really good idea. Oh, bless you.
She can print everything she wants all at once. Lots of sentiments.
I'm just reading about everybody except me loves glitter. Everybody loves glitter. Gotta love a bit of sparkle. Glitter's fab.
I love it.
Lois would like to know what's your favourite brand of glitter?
My favourite.
Oh no, that's a tough one for you. that's a really good question for Glyn.
Any?
Anything.
I love Chloe's glitter. I love a chunky stuff.
See, if I was gonna, I like that stuff because it's dead thin.
Well, it depends on what you're doing.
Okay.
I think each project really, with the glitter, sometimes you'd need an ultra fine glitter. Sometimes you might want a chunky glitter. So it does depend on what you're doing.
So you really do.
I have glitter.
You have glitter
everywhere. I've got.
Well, I know you've got it everywhere, but you have different glitter for different purposes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what might you use a chunkier glitter on then?
Can I get that?
Yeah. Hold the line, guys, while Glynis just destroys my background set. Yeah, once. Just once.
Like, this is a chunky glitter in the middle there.
Okay.
And this is one of Chloe's. It's a white and a silver combined glitter.
Oh, look at the sparkle on that.
Yes.
So on the inside, on the bigger flowers, on the inside you've used a chunky, and then say here, that's a finer, isn't it?
That's on the corners. That is a glittered embossing powder.
Oh, of course it is. You can't do anything without glitter, you.
No.
What else have we got? We've got always. So one of the hints and tips, which I suppose, sorry, I should have said about the giveaway. What am I like? We've got over £150 giveaway today. So today on this show, it's £50 CraftStash voucher. Whoever can give me the best answer to, if you could pass on any hints and tips, what would they be? Whether it's to a new card maker, whether it's to somebody that's been doing it for 18 years, you never know. I mean,
well, I think you can always learn.
Every day's a school day.
Yes.
Every day's a school day. So to be with the chance of winning a £50 CraftStash voucher, the question for today is, if you could pass on any hints and tips, what would they be? So we've got that giveaway, and we've also got a giveaway that's running until Monday, I believe, over on the blog, which is a £100 CraftStash voucher. So head over to the blog and be answering their question too. So what reminded me was I've just spotted Debbie Siddle has said her hint and tip is always make sure you have the right size of card for your envelope if you're making your own card blanks. No idea how many times I've done this, not had an envelope that fits, and I'm not. She's not very good at making her own, unless anyone has any hints and tips. I don't tend to make my own envelopes. What I do make is a box for it to go in, especially when you've got the what's it called? Card Making Magic box making set, the 5x7 and the 6x6 and the A2. We've got 3 of them now.
Yeah.
They're so easy to put together. You just run the dies through the machines twice. So you've got 2 pieces of 2 die cuts and stick them together. They make a beautiful little box that you can then design as well to make it that little bit extra. And if it is that, like with Glynis, sometimes you put some like this, some fantastically large flowers on the front of your card, then if you make a box to fit that, then you're not going to squish your squish your
flowers.
That's the one. Anything, you're not going to squish anything. So I don't tend to make envelopes. Like I say, I tend to make boxes. But if there's anybody out there who does make envelopes, then Debbie and myself would love to know how you make sure you get the right size, to be honest, and how you do it.
You'd have to start off with what, A3 paper.
I reckon you'd have to have A3 paper, unless you're making a little card. If you're making a smaller card. So we've got, what other questions? We've got people that are loving the sweet poppy, absolutely loving it.
Oh, I love that.
We've got Beth's watching, our Beth.
Hi, Beth.
So would these stencils be okay to use with eye zinc glitter paint? Now I know you like a bit of eye zinc.
I've not used the glitter paint. It depends on how thick it is, really.
I've got some, but I've not used it yet. So we can always have a look.
And have a play.
Yeah.
And get back to that.
Yeah.
Idea.
We'll have a look and we'll have a play and we will let you know. Can you use paste with stamps?
I think it'd depend on the paste, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd say that would be too thick.
This one you couldn't, because it's very gloopy.
Ah, right, okay.
But I think that'd just completely ruin.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin your stamps, do you? Especially if you've got a favourite stamp that you like to use.
No, I know I wouldn't use that.
No, I wouldn't use it for a stamp.
There is paste out there that are thinner. I'm not sure what they're called. I've got one at home actually. That you can use on your stamp. You just put the paste on a tiny sponge and sponge it onto your stamp and then stamp.
Well, that's a good idea.
Well, Indigo Blue used to do that, didn't they? With the
yes, they did.
gilding flakes.
Yes. So if you've got, Glynis wouldn't necessarily advise it with something that's quite chunky like that, but if you've got a thinner paste, then you could always sponge it on and give it a go. As long as it's not something that you're going to think's going to ruin your stamp, then you can always give it a go. Especially if I told you that was going to fall off, didn't you? I said that I'm going to take that on there and it was going to fall off. Yeah, as long as it's.
If you wanted something chunky, you can always use ultra thick embossing powder.
Yeah, so you might be better off using that.
That'd be raised.
Yeah, and could you, if you'd got ultra thick embossing powder and it wasn't glittery, could you add glitter to it?
Yes, I add a lot of glitter to my embossing powders.
And again, I suppose if you'd got a little mixing tub, a little separate pot.
And just experiment with your embossing powders. Mix a bit of, if you want a glittery embossing powder, you've got gold embossing powder and you've got some gold glitter. You can mix it. You can mix any colours with anything. It's just experimenting all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And again, I would probably say that the thinner the glitter, if you were going to mix it with your embossing powder, would it be better if it was
a chunky one? It'd be a fine one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So Debbie says that, going back to the lady that was asking about warping, so Debbie says that she uses Kalal and that doesn't warp. So Chris Cook would like to know, when you started, I had to read it to make sure it was one that I could read out.
Yeah.
When you stamp, do you put the ink to the stamp or the stamp to the ink?
I put the ink to the stamp and pat it on.
Yeah.
That way.
I do that.
I do.
So, any particular reason?
I think it's a cleaner way of doing it, and you can see as well where your ink is. Because I think if you do it the other way, sometimes you miss inking up.
Yeah, you might miss a bit. So there you go, Chris.
So he can carry on with his stamping.
You can carry on stamping. So a tip that Sharon's got is eat glitter for breakfast and then you'll sparkle all day.
That's a lovely idea.
I wouldn't put that past you.
You can have edible glitter, can't you?
Well, I don't know if it's edible, but it's definitely biodegradable. You've got a bit on your chin. That's better. So there's a lady who's got a Tim Holtz stamping platform and she's having problems getting clear images. So she's seen tutorials and follow them exactly, but images are still bitty no matter how many times she re-inks the stamp. So she needs help. So what do you think that could be?
Oh, it could be a stamp. It could be the ink she's using as well. So a stamp needs, if the stamp looks bitty, what you could do is clean it with wet wipes or get a rubber and rub all over it and just keep stamping it till you start getting a clean image. Regarding ink pads, I have never bought, well I have actually, when I first started I went to Hobbycraft and bought lots of cheap ink pads.
I did that.
I did. Waste of money, completely and utterly waste of money. And it was only when I got more into it I realised an ink pad is really, really important. So you're best spending good money on a really good ink pad. Yeah. So you need to check what ink pad you're using, and I don't think it's anything to do with your platform. No. Because I think the platforms are absolutely fantastic. I've got people in my workshops now who would never ever stamp if they had to use a stamping block, and now they're all into stamping. They love it because it's easy. Yeah. You make if you miss a date, you just go back over it. So I would check with your ink pad and use a rubber on your stamp. Yeah, because sometimes people don't always realise that sometimes when the stamps have been made, when they've been produced, there's sometimes like an oily residue on them. And if you just get a clean rubber and just as if you were rubbing it out and then get rid of all of the little shavings that are then left all over it. Sometimes when you're stamping, say it's a line, it's like dot, dot, dab, dab. Yeah. But if you just go over with the rubber. Dot, dot, dab, dab. Morse code. Just get a big rubber. You'll be fine with that one. I mean, I have to do that with... I was doing it this morning with the stamp. Yeah, and it doesn't matter what make it is. Yeah. It doesn't matter where it's come from, who's made it. It's a part of the manufacturing process with clear stamps that they sometimes have a film or a residue left on them from the process. So just getting a clean rubber and rubbing it out just takes that off there, and you'll be amazed. The difference. Especially if it's, I find, because I test a lot of stamps. I find if it's something that's a solid colour, like a solid block, you normally end up having to prime that 9 times out of 10. But it's got to the point where now I don't even bother testing them, I just prime them. Yeah. Might as well. Yeah. Don't see the point otherwise. So hopefully, Carol, if you give it a prime, or if you, like Glynis says... we don't know what ink pad. I was just going to say, we've got quite a few comments, so I'll try and see if Carol can let us know which kind of ink pad you're using. Again, if it is that you're using a distress ink, that's not gonna give a crisp image, is it? No. And sometimes pigment inks don't. Yeah. Sometimes. Has to be a dye ink? I just tend to stick with. I do a lot with VersaFine and Versamark, Memento. Yeah. And using alcohol markers. I do metallic. I use metallic a lot if I'm using, because sometimes with these the stamping platforms, I do tend to miss if I'm using Versamark.
Yeah, well you can't see, can you?
And you can't see, and then you put your powder on and you can see a big gap where you've missed it. So, where's possible with me, I will use a coloured ink pad to match the powder I'm using.
Yeah, you do that because you've got a silver one with you, haven't you?
Yeah, whereas this, I used a metallic silver ink pad, so I could get the right image.
Yeah.
And then put powder on it. Because nothing worse when you put powder on and you
the amount of time
and the half of it, and you can't go back over it because your powder's there.
Exactly. And the amount of times I've done that in your class. But like you say, because it's clear, you can't see.
Yeah.
Nikki Gilbert's given us a very, very good tip. Always make sure that your card blank is the right way round. Because none of us want Australian cards, do we?
No, we must have loads of relatives. Everybody must have loads of relatives in Australia. I know I have a few.
No upside down cards. I do it all the time. All the time. Never give up, says Lois. Even if you don't like the finished card, you can take it apart and try again.
Yeah, and just because you don't like it, don't mean to say other people won't like it.
No, and that kind of leads on to somebody else who has said, Natalie said, don't be too hard on yourself. Craft isn't meant to look perfect, and the recipient will love it because it's from the heart,
Yes,
which is a good point.
That's true.
And Shelley says her biggest tip is don't ever tell your other half how much you've spent on your CraftStash. You've got a garage full, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, so your other half has to know.
Yeah.
There you go. Never underestimate just how much a family member or friend will treasure something that you've handmade, and don't forget to take photos of your best products for future reference.
That's a
very
good idea.
Yeah, very good tip.
Because I don't do that, and then somebody will say, "Oh, remember that card we made about 10 years ago?" No.
No, because you've made like 5 million of them since.
Well, that's where I go wrong. I don't take photos of them.
No.
I should do really.
You need to start. What were you saying to me earlier on about not being a mobile phone woman?
No, I don't do mobile
You
phones.
have to learn, won't you? You have to learn.
Mine was in the drawer, and everybody kept saying, "You never answer your phone." No, it's got no battery and it's stuck in a drawer. ring the landline if you want me.
Well, my tip to you then would be charge your phone up.
Oh, its battery don't last very long. Oh, it's a waste. Can't be bothered.
We'll have this conversation after.
Can't be bothered.
Have you got any more tips? Because I mean, this is your
My little bit.
yeah, and I'm taking over.
This is a lovely little tip. I've done a tiny card. I like doing lots of lines on my cards on the scoreboard. And it's so easy. When you've got plain corners.
Yeah, she'll give a
I hate
close
plain
up.
corners.
She doesn't like. Can you see that she's kind of embossed some lines around on. I still can't get used to being back to front. I turn it that way and it goes the other way on the camera. And we've got embossed lines around here. So you've not done that with an embossing folder, have you?
No, nobody
No.
will make me one.
No one will make you one. So we've got somewhere, it's there, if you grab it. This is what you do with a scoreboard. Ooh, right, so
what I did, I measured them.
So we're on the top
They're
down
on
one.
there. So
Yeah.
I measured my little card, that's my main card.
Here. So just your main card,
Yeah,
because this is the camera. So we have to
do that.
yeah, okay.
And this is my first layer. Yes?
Okay.
So I wanted to go all the way around it with 3 or 4 lines. But when you're scoring, you tend to go over one line that you've just done.
So you get like a crisscross like that in the corner.
I think it looks dreadful. So if you cut a square, and it's easier to do with a square than an oblong, and you pencil line from one side to the other, and the other side to that one.
Corner to corner.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the word. Pop it on your scoreboard, and
You can't use that one. I'll get you this one out. Oh, talk amongst yourselves.
Oh.
There you go.
so on your first line you start where your pencil is, and you go down and you finish on the next
Oh, let's just move you up a little bit because we're just out of shot slightly. There you go.
So you finish on your next pencil line, so you turn it over, and that's where you start again.
So you know that you're the same amount of distance away from the corner each time.
That's it, yeah.
That's good. So you're making sure that you're using the same groove every time. You're only going from pencil mark to pencil mark.
Yeah, and then when you go on the next line, you start lower down the pencil line.
Yeah.
Find where the line is and take it down.
So you're never going across that pencil line. That's clever. And it's just a nice little finish, isn't it, to your card?
Yeah.
And you can make sure that you've got the same amount of distance every time.
That's it.
And then I know what you're going to say next.
What?
You're going to say, and then when you turn it over, you can't see your pencil marks, but you can see your lines.
And there we go.
There we go. So by going from corner to corner, oh, in fact, if I go on over to the close-up, so we can see that we've started from this pencil line and we've come all the way down and we've stopped just when we're meeting that pencil line, and then we've moved in a groove on the what's that thing called you've got in your hand? Scoreboard.
Yeah.
We move in a groove on the scoreboard, and again only go from your pencil mark down to your pencil mark, and when you turn it over you have got a perfectly scored border.
And your lines are not running over each other, which...
Aren't you clever? And then you get a card like that.
And another tip, if you see the turquoise on the fairy cake,
Yes.
just pass me the pro line.
Yes. Oh,
If you haven't got any cards the same colour as the colour your pro mark pens, what I do...
sorry guys, I was rustling then, I do apologise.
I just get my pro markers, just go around the edge.
So you create basically your own bespoke mat.
Yeah, I like colours that are the same.
You do. You like to match, don't
yeah,
you?
and I think you could get 3 or 4 pieces of card, all say lilacs and purples, and when you put them all together, there's not one match.
Very good point.
So I just tend to use my pens a lot.
Yeah.
For that.
So then, if you then take that piece of card that you've scored.
Oh yeah, don't put your tape on before you do that.
Oh right, okay, why?
It doesn't work as well.
Oh, okay. There you go, another
There
tip.
you go.
So don't put your tape on before. But then,
there we go. And that then is the same colour as your little topper.
okie dokie. So then we put, oops, sorry. And we're all the same colour.
I mean, if you look at pink, you think, oh, I'll do a pink card. It's either salmon pink or bright pink or... I never seem to find a nice pink.
No. You're never going to get the exact colour card in blue that you've used to colour your cupcake in, are you?
No, so if you use your pens,
you can...
your colours are there.
Yeah, you can create your own coloured card.
Yeah.
Without spending a fortune, and without as well having to have loads of it and then cutting a little bit out just for if you're only making a small card like that.
Yeah. What a waste.
Exactly. And you know, we all know how much I don't like wasting paper on people. I mean, come on. I mean, so, oh, we've got Jeanette watching from America.
Oh.
Hi, Jeanette. That's a very good question, point from Tom. Tom has said regarding the lady who was having problems with the stamp platform, if it's a Tim Holtz, which I think you said it was,
she did.
There are two sides on it, on your lid, isn't there?
I believe so. I haven't got Tim Holtz.
You've got the other one, haven't you?
Yeah.
So there's a side for clear stamps and there's a side for rubber stamps. So obviously because your rubber stamps are generally thicker than your clear silicone stamps, the kind of guard that runs around the edge is deeper on, it's deeper on the side for...
So the plate would be thinner?
Yeah, it's deeper
on the rubber.
On the side for the rubber, so you're not pressing down as much. So if
Yeah.
you're using your silicone stamps on your rubber side of your stamp platform lid, excuse me, you might not be getting as much surface pressure. So that's a very good point, Tom. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tom, for that. Jess says one of her top tips is make charts, colour charts for your inks and pens.
Yes, I've already got one.
Yeah, I do that, and I do embossing powders
because
as well.
You could be there all day getting each pen. No, that's not the right colour.
Yeah. And sometimes your embossing powders look a different colour when they've been embossed than they do in the tub.
You can download most of those charts off the internet.
You can. And it's fun. Sit on a Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon while it's raining, colouring everything in. I know Carol enjoys that. Carol was saying about her copy markers yesterday. So Creative Stamping say that it's great to hear that more people are getting into stamping with their stamp positioning tools. Debbie likes the eraser tip for the stamps. And I love this. I love the fact that there's people trying to help each other out with different questions. There's so many questions. I'm not going to get through all of them today, so I am sorry if I don't.
There was one the other day, one of my ladies had stamped something, and it was we were using distressing inks, the oxides, and I ended up with a blob just where I didn't want it. And I said to one of my ladies, "Oh no, look what I've done." And she went, "Well, that's easy to get rid of." I said, "Oh," me being thick, paintbrush, dab of water, and just went over it, and it came off. I was so relieved. Well,
I have never thought of that before.
Well, I haven't till she told me.
No, because it's a water-based ink, so as long as you're not drenching the cardstock.
Yeah, just a little paintbrush, dab of water, and it came off. She saved me life.
You heard it here first, because
so there you go.
I don't know if you like me, but the amount of times I put a grubby thumbprint on something, slap bang in the middle, where I can't cover it up with a flower.
My best one's dropping the ink pad right in the middle of your card.
I did that the other day. Yeah. I did. Luckily, I was only testing stamps, and it was on some testing that I'd done.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I do that a lot.
I knew a topper was just going to go in the middle of that.
Right, yes, Gem. Top tip would make sure your work surface is clean. So many times I've had ink marks and glue marks on cards from previous projects that ruin a great card. I do that a lot as well. I love this. There's so many. How am I going to choose a winner out of this? How on earth? What do you think?
Oh, I don't know.
There. That's a good one. I'm going to read it out. I think one of the... No, I hate doing this. I hated it when I used to sit in your spot. Right, okay. There you go. Actually, I've changed my mind. My favourite tip. So, the winner of today's £50 CraftStash voucher is drum roll. Thank you, ladies. Jill Kennington, and I think it's something that we all need to remember every now and again is enjoy what you're working on and do not stress about it, because it's meant to be fun.
Yes.
We're meant to be enjoying this. It's meant to be de-stressing. Relax.
Over the years, I've met that many people when out the shop that was seriously ill, or partners were seriously ill, nervous breakdowns and things like that, and they all, you know, and they used to talk to me, and they'd come in the shop, and it was lovely to see them just relaxing, and getting together in groups, making it really meant a lot to people.
Yeah, it really does.
It's a nice thing, it's a lovely thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, instead of watching telly.
And even if you can't get out and you're not part of a group, and even if you're making a card for somebody, or if you're not making a card for somebody, and you've got something you wanted to try out, don't stress about it. Don't, because if you're not giving it to anybody, nobody else is going to know about it or see it but you.
Is always a happy mistake.
I was going to say, there's no such thing as a mistake in crafting.
No.
Is there? No. Let's be honest.
No.
The amount of times I've said to you, Glynis, mine's not going to look anything like that because I've put this on upside down, or I forgot and I accidentally coloured it that in that colour, and she's like, so? Yours is just going to look different to mine, it doesn't matter.
No.
So...
And it does, crafting gives people so much enjoyment.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's paper crafting, if it's knitting, if it's...
Oh, yours, I can't knit.
There's time for you, yeah. But anyway, no, that's...
done, and by the time I've done one row, I've lost half the stitches, I give up.
Oh, bless her. So Jill's got back to her. She says, thank you so much for picking her. She thinks she's going to cry, happy tears though. Oh, don't,
lovely.
You'll start us off.
That's lovely.
So, I know we had a lot more planned.
We did.
But we're running out of time.
We've never done any stripping.
We haven't done any
Can't we do a quick one?
She doesn't mean that kind of stripping.
No.
No, we haven't got time.
We'll have to do it next time.
Next time.
Next time I come.
Next time you come.
What she means
is, can I just say, what she means is mitering. She doesn't mean stripping. I just want to say.
A wonderful way of saving all your precious card that you don't really want to use.
Yes.
I just do it in strips.
She does. She does.
Why?
That's the only kind of stripping she means.
Yes.
Yes. So you might think that this has got a full sheet of
at the back.
Which one am I getting? This one. You might think that this has got a full sheet of the coloured matte card behind it, but it hasn't. What it's got is a little bit. It's about 5mm wide, and she's kind of made a little frame out of it and stuck behind. And I can guarantee that if you go to one of Glynis's classes and you see a card that's been mitered, because when you go to Glynis's class, she provides you with all of the products that you need, all of the materials, but she only gives you that much card if you need that much card, which means for those of us that aren't great at mitering or stripping,
but you do learn.
We do learn, yes, and it's something that we have got better at. But
you know, if you've got a full sheet of, say, mirror, and you can't get any more mirror, you can't get to the shop, and you've got lots of die cutting to do on it, but you want to put the border, well, what are you going to do?
Exactly. No, you're right. You're absolutely right, mate. Just, it's an absolute nightmare, and
I'm famous for my stripping. Mitering.
And on that bombshell, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody for watching. Don't forget, we've got that £100 CraftStash voucher competition over on the blog, so get yourself over there and get entering onto that. And we've got the 10% off Sweet Poppy stencils on the website, so just head over there, put in whatever you want into your basket, and then enter the code SWEET10. So, thank you, Glynis, for joining us.
I really enjoyed it.
It wasn't, you were terribly nervous, weren't you?
Oh, yes.
Did you enjoy it?
I did, I've enjoyed it.
Oh, good, I'm glad. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good, I'm glad. Good. So, thank you everybody for joining us. It's been lovely to see you all again. I will probably see you the next time Jeanette goes on holiday. So, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week at 1 o'clock. So, bye-bye.